create havoc and melee?
From A Raisin in the Sun to Cooley High and more, his career, it spanned decades.
We had to fight to get that recognition and have our story told with some sort of dignity.
Excuse me if I say our word is exactly as good as yours.
But simple success, that wasn't enough. He wanted to make a difference in the whole industry.
When the buck says, it's good business to include everybody, well, then you have a revolution going on that is sustainable.
There's so much in today's episode with actor Glynn Turman. You're not going to want to miss even a second.
Got a point there. I'm coming.
Guys, welcome to The Pulse. We are excited to get things started again today, as we always do, with people who are making a difference, have careers, success, inspiring people. And Mr. Glynn Turman, I was talking about Emmy Award, NAACP Award. I don't have enough time to list all the shows and movies and Broadway, all those things you've been in. Thank you for taking time with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a long list. I mean, we're going to be real. Like, I'm looking through. It's a long list of things that you've been doing throughout your career.
Well, I've been at it a long time, and I don't know if that's because I don't have enough sense to get out of it and leave it, but I've been doing it, of course, since I was a youngster, and I just still enjoy it. So, and people still seem to find some value in watching me. So here I am.
It's interesting you mentioned, obviously, youngster. And that was an interesting story, because you got into it as a child, but got into it, with some of the greats and the legends and making history very earlier in your career. Tell us that story.
We started with Sidney Poitier and Ruby Dee, Lou Gossett Jr., Lloyd Richards, the great director, and of course at the helm of all that was the wonderful, legendary Lorraine Hansberry, writing a play called A Raisin in the Sun, which was the first Broadway drama written and produced and directed and starring and everything by people of color, and back in the 50s. So I was a part of that entourage.
And did you have any concept as a child in that room what was going on?
As a 12-year-old, I didn't care what was going on. All I wanted to do was go play baseball, I wanted to say my lines, get off the stage, go hang out with the guys on Saturday afternoon and play baseball. And they're talking about a matinee. I got to work? What are you talking about? But so it was really kind of that audacious naivete that surrounded me. And but later in years, it became my life,
What was your mother who said you should go audition for this? You were not a huge fan of school, so let me go ahead and act.
My mother and Lorraine Hansberry were very close in the village, Greenwich Village back in the day, and so we were all neighbors, and she, along with James Baldwin and several others, were a part of my mother's collection of friends. And so that's the atmosphere I grew up in.
I say this a lot on this show. It's always amazing to me how nonchalant and casual people who have participated in history just kind of throw it out there. Yeah, James Baldwin, Lorraine Hansberry. We me and moms and them, we're just hanging out.
You're right. When I think about it, and try and distance myself from it, I realize, it is a realization that these were some of the greatest people of our time, but while in it and being a part of it, it's just that, the only thing I wanted to know from Mr. Baldwin was, could he give me a quarter so I could go down here and get this ice cream cone,
So humble beginnings to the career that ended up still going on, 50 plus years. So Raising the Sun as a child, and you just knew I'm acting, I'm having some fun. When did it become serious?
Yes, it became serious for me when I got to the High School of Performing Arts. And I talk about all of this in my documentary, The Legend of Glynn Turman. It became serious for me in my junior year in high school. the High School of Performing Arts. I think it's now called LaGuardia. But that was a place where I did well after having been a chronic truant in junior high school and not a good student at all, destined for trouble. But this school presented a curriculum that I was able to accelerate in. And that was being a major in acting, you know. So as an acting major, I did very, very well and started getting A's. And I'd never, ever done that in school before. And my mother, I took an A to home for the first time to Mom and said, look, Mom, I got an A in it. She said, I've been trying to tell you. So I said, okay, well, I guess maybe I'll try this acting thing. And that's when it became serious for me.
Coming up on The Pulse, hundreds of movies and shows. That's quite a career. Did you ever before this sit back and go, wow, I've done a lot. I'm having, like, look at me. Look at all the things I'm doing.